Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Well, hello.
Hello, everybody.
How are we doing? It's been a little while since the last one. 6 weeks, I think, since the last Jukebox Jury, and
Yes.
we have a guest juror with us today. A very handsome, very talented guest juror with us today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Uh, is it me?
You.
My name is Stefano Barberis, and I'm from the band Breathe My Leaves. I'm the music guy from Breathe My Leaves, and my real job is I'm a director, and I fly around the world directing music videos. But I'm also in a synth pop duo, a little wee synth pop duo called Breathe My Leaves, and I'm the music guy, and I'm here really happily with all of you. Very excited. I've watched this for quite a long time, so it's pretty cool. So that's me.
It's great to have you in, and obviously, Breathe of My Leaves have actually been featured twice on Jukebox Jury. I think that's a record. I don't think we've featured anybody else twice.
Ooh,
So
yeah,
we're obviously doing something right.
nice. And we got the hit on all. Well,
Did hit all round both times. So shall we just go around clockwise and just introduce ourselves? Jeeves, do you want to go first, and we'll just let everybody know who we are, just in case
Yes.
they're in the dark. They might not know who we are.
I'm Jeeves, aka Mr. Twix. That's my DJ name. I'm a music video producer. I also work in television. I'm a sound engineer, and I'm also a hired musician. I'm actually doing a show tomorrow, so I'm in the middle of practicing. So I stopped to come in to do JukeBox Jury just for us because this is awesome. I love doing this. So here I am, and that's me.
Jimbo.
Yes, and a very pleasant good evening to everybody who is over in the European time zones in the eastern part of the United States. My name is Jim. I am from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. Live streamer for about 9 years. I cannot play any musical instruments whatsoever, nor can I sing. However, I am a music junkie, and I can hear a song and I can do my best to recall being at a certain place at a certain time when I hear that song. And it's great to be a part of this panel this evening.
Jim does have encyclopedic knowledge when it
nice.
comes to recall. And I'm
Love it.
Helen. I'm the host of Helen's Mixtape on 365 Radio on a Thursday evening. And obviously, Jukebox Jury has come about as an offshoot of that show. People send me their tracks. I can't play them all. They need to be heard. So here we are. We found a platform once a month to delve into the email inbox randomly. We don't know what we're getting to hear before we actually do it. It's always a surprise. And that's what we're going to go ahead and do because we are running a little bit behind time and poor Jeeves is on the clock here. So without further ado, we'll open up the emails. Dun, dun, dun.
And hello, Glick.
Hi, Glick. We'll have a little scoot through. I don't know how far I need to go back. I should have had this set up in advance. That would have been logical. Hang on, what we'll do is we'll go to the start.
You'll probably see a few of mine in there.
I know. We're not doing Breathe of My Leaves for a third time running. Not when you're here. Not when you're here.
Hey, at least he's trying.
That'd be brutal. I wouldn't be able to.
Well, it's actually funny because the show that this is based on used to be an old show on the BBC, and they would do that. They would randomly have a guest behind the scenes, review the panel, let the panel review their track, and then bring them out. And that
jeez.
that was brutal. I'm like,
Oh, that would be fun.
yeah, I was like, no, we're not doing that part. That seems unkind.
Jeez.
Okay, so did I catch? We did the mystery singer last time, right? So I've gone as far back as we were before. That's fine. And there's Breathe of My Leaves Stay that we did last time. Okay, so right away I've got a name that's again, and I know I explain this every time, but just for those of you who are new, it really bothers me when PR companies send me lots of music. They have never listened to my radio show. They don't know what I play. They just send things out on mass. and it's always awkward, and there's a 10-page bio and there's not a file attached to it. I much prefer when musicians send me their stuff directly from them, and that's what I've spotted. I've spotted a name. So it says James Hennessy. Let's open this one up. Has that jumped over with that? It has. Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Hi, Helen. Big thanks for playing my last track on your station. Oh, okay, this is someone I've played before. Your support is so appreciated. I thought you might like to hear Tetro Disco, the new self-released single from Dark Rust, out March 1st. Well, this is the 27th of April. I'm a wee bit behind the time. I'll catch up eventually. Tetro Disco is the fourth single from the soon-to-be-released debut album Tetro Disco, planned the 19th of April for release. So it's only just been released like a week ago. Dark Rust is solo dark minimal electronic musician from Eastbourne, Sussex, UK, seamlessly melding synthtronica and electro into a fractured dark weave it's very florid. Dark weave robo disco infused rampage.
Ooh.
Dark Rust uses analog synths. We do like an analog synth, and samplers to blend retro beats into irresistible grooves. Haunting leads and gritty vocoders tempt you in as the pulsating bass lines make resistance futile.
Ooh.
I really feel like they're yeah. Let's just find out when we hear it. Okay, you build something up,
Oh,
Mixed by Ruiner, mastered by Pete Maher, the Dark Rust sound has been heavily influenced by early electronic pioneers. I'm not going to say what that says because I usually like to hear it myself. Okay, so this is on a Google Drive. Let's get this opened. Has that shared that out? Hang on. Tell me if you can, if we've got sound. Wait a minute. Do I need to download it or can I just open it? Can I not just open it? There we go.
The screen hasn't switched over.
Not switched over. Well, that helped. Help if the screen switches over. This is what I was talking about when I said I get a little bit nervous. It's because of this. There's so many buttons to push. Things can go wrong.
it's fun. It's live.
Right.
But that's the part that's spontaneous that makes it fun and original. That's what I like about it.
You're being very kind, boys. Right, let's tell me if you've got sound, okay? Yeah, that was a long fade out. Okay, Jeeves, do you want to go first, and we'll just work our way down around the screen? So you go first,
I
Jeeves.
thought I liked it. I liked the synth part when it first came. The synth bass was really cool, and then when the drum came out, I thought it was pretty good. Um, I don't have much to say about it because I like the overall sound. It's pretty good.
Is that you?
Yeah.
That was short
Yes.
and sweet.
Yes.
Right, Jim?
Wow. First of all, right from that first note, it instantly brought me back to hearing Autobahn by Kraftwerk in 1974. Yes, I'm showing my age, so fight me there, everyone. Had that cool analog vibe going for starters. For a second, it kind of went into like a Daft Punk kind of thing going for a little bit as well. And then it even kind of gave me hints of, like, I'm showing my age here again, like Knight Rider and David Hasselhoff and waiting for Kit to come driving around in a little Trans Am. But for whatever reason, it seems like I was just hoping for, after the first minute, I was hoping for it to go in a different direction or to expand. It just, for me personally, it seemed rather repetitive. And it's not being that I'm being negative or cynical about this. It's just the fact that you got to give them credit for doing that, that kind of that analog synth sound, with the drum bass and everything like that. But I want them to see if they can, you know, expand on that and build on it. And you got to give these guys credit for doing that late 70s, early 80s sound. So if they can build on that and expand on it and provide some depth, and then there's a possibility here, guys.
Stefano?
I took some notes. I'm a sucker for analog synths, so that's what we do too. So I love that. Right off this, it could be complete crap, and if it has an analog synth in it, I'm like, oh yeah, I love this one. So I love the synth bass, and I love the build it had. Um, I think it kind of tricks you into thinking there's going to be more vocals and more twists coming in, but it just doesn't. Just like you said, Jim, it kind of doesn't materialize. Even though I'm enjoying myself, I'm kind of hoping for more. It's not as commercial. I probably wouldn't release it as a single to radio. It sounds like a great B-side. It's atmospheric and vibey. It sounds like a substantially developed demo, I think, to me, that can go into so many cool places because it's already it's successfully done, I think, but I think it needs something just a little bit more. So like the vibe is there. Um, I think it needs something more dynamic, though. I can't say I disliked it. It'd be hard for me to say this is a miss, But I think because all the elements are there, I just think it needs some torquing, is what I would say.
Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting that Jim said Kraftwerk because they actually did cite Kraftwerk in the email when I said I don't want to say who the influences are. I didn't necessarily hear Kraftwerk so much. They did mention Gary Newman. I can hear that, but actually I can hear more early Ultravox, John Fox Ultravox. It's that same Billy Currie sound. And obviously Billy Currie was in Tubeway Army with Gary Newman, and Chris Payne as well. And it's that kind of modulation wheel. It's a very Billy Currie, slow motion, John Fox Ultravox kind of sound. And obviously Gary Newman was influenced by that, right? So it makes sense that, when they're saying they're influenced by Gary Newman, because obviously Gary Newman was influenced by something as well. That's what I heard. I'm sitting there listening to it, and all I could hear was early Ultravox. I actually really liked it because that's right up my alley. But I do feel like it needed to, like, it's got so much potential to fly off in a multitude of different directions. I'm wondering if maybe the vocoder is in there because maybe the guy's not a vocalist and is maybe a little bit shy about singing. And that's a thing with electronic musicians. You can hear the music, it can be so good, and then they don't bring a singer in and they try and sing it themselves, and it's like, no, don't do that. Make it an instrumental or bring a singer in. I actually really like it, but I think it would be amazing if they brought something over it. Like it could just fly off in so many different directions. Even if it is someone that sounds like Gary Newman who also can't sing, but it's him because he's got a unique voice.
Yeah.
So I actually really liked it. I think that's no surprise. I think most people would know that that's my taste and right up my street. And yeah, analog synthesizers, you're right. If it's got an analog synth on it, I'm kind of hooked. I did forget to remind everyone to have their signs that say hit or miss. I don't know if everyone has a sign that says hit and miss. I completely forgot. I completely forgot to remind you to do that. And it wasn't until I was looking for my own, I was like,
I'll be right back.
grab a marker pen. Oh, we're organised as ever, folks. No, I completely forgot to mention that. And I also completely forgot to mention that you were able to connect your social media channels, but maybe we can do that next time. I forgot to talk you through that because I'm a silly sausage. Right. So... Oh, it's been a long day. Hi, everyone in the chat, by the way. I'm not ignoring you. I was on other screens when people are commenting. Hi, Ashley's Law. That's Maureen, is it? Is that Maureen? Hi, Maureen. Hi, Chris Technician. Hi, Glick. Hi, everyone else who's sort of hovering and lingering and not saying anything. Welcome. Come on in. We got into a political conversation earlier and I completely forgot all the important, to do with the actual show. All right, boys. What do we think?
Could I add something to that too about the vocal?
Of course you can.
I just thought about this because I'm agreeing with you too. I think that his vocal is actually quite cool, and I think it was buried too far into the mix. Like the funny thing is that if he doesn't have confidence in it, I think he should, and I think he should lift the vocal and add more of it because I think
Agreed.
it added to the effect, and it almost felt a little naked without it. Like you can even add more effects to the voice if you don't want to do that. But I think there's a lot of potential there. Like I wish there was like a category called hiss or mit, like it's somewhere in the middle kind of a thing, because it's got like I don't want to say
it's got
miss,
potential, but it doesn't.
I agree as well, though. But I always feel that whenever a vocoder's brought in, it's like that someone's maybe just a little bit unsure about their own abilities.
Vocals.
It kind of hides a lot. It covers a multitude.
It does, but I think in this case, because of the whole, like you said, the Gary Newman, the early Ultravox, like the Cars. I haven't got the Cars from this, but like I think that vocoder actually will add, and I think he's got a cool sound to the voice with the vocoder. So I don't think he should be worried about that.
I agree. Yep, I agree. Right, what do we think then? Was it a hit or was it a miss? And those are your only two options. It has to be hit or miss.
Oh no! Ooh, that's good. I'm gonna have to say this, but not in a bad way.
A miss. Oh,
you pair of misers.
I don't want to do that because I actually liked it, but I just think I want to push them to just add a little bit more because it'll be a hit.
Yeah, and I echo Stefano completely in the sense that, like I said, give him credit for creating that retro sound. Again, after that first minute, I was hoping for more, and bring those vocals from out from under. Don't make them so. Relayer that. Bring those layers of vocals up front.
It's a happy miss.
I know that we're talking about potential, but actually, I would listen to this as is. I would happily have it on in the car, and I would have this in the background when I'm working. It would, it's not lost as it is. I know you're saying, about potential and the sounding like a demo, and I agree with that. But it's also good enough to just listen to as is.
You're right. Yeah.
Anyway. We're really labouring the point, right? Let's get the emails open and find the next track. Hang on. Let's see what we can see. All right. Now. so many from pluggers. Oh, here's one here that I've not seen before. Ceneus. Has that jumped over? Can we see that? Yes, we can. Okay. Hi, Helen. We hope this finds you well. It does. Thank you for asking. Although I'm a bit slow in reading it. Here's the last single by Ceneus. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Chinese Room. We're also releasing a new one very soon. There's a video. We do like a video. Track and artwork below, blah, blah, blah. Excellent. It's fine. Let's just play the video. Chinese Room. Yeah, here we go. I want to know if that's opened up. Has that jumped over with us? It has. Okay.
Yes.
Let me know if we've got sound. Sorry, I want to make sure that there isn't any loud noises in the background and nothing else kicks in. So I'm just trying to make sure that's all switched off. Jim, do you want to go first?
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that that song from beginning to end just evoked the early 80s. I'm the oldest guy in the room here and probably the oldest in the demographic here, but coming home from a pub or some kind of a gig or a club or something like that, and then you get home, and this is kind of buzzed, living at home back in the 80s, mind you, and then just laying in the bed at 3 in the morning and then reliving those trippy scenes that you saw in that video. The cool thing though is this song, in my humble opinion, didn't necessarily need the video because the music itself kept me engaged. It brought back and evoked memories of the 80s, having been there, done that. It just it just, I mean, the lyrics were kind of but that sound, that vibe, it set me back 35, 40 years ago, to a better time for me, as a youth. Super good. I'm encouraged to what these guys have done.
Is that you? Yeah. Stefano, do you want to go next?
Sure. I really like it. I love the synths. I love, because I love synth music. I think they did a really great job. And I kind of always have to change gears in my head and go, okay, this is like that kind of cool 80s droning kind of vocal. You don't, because the band that I'm in, the vocalist is very dramatic. And it's that kind of a 80s style, I guess, or whatever. But this one is cool because it reminded me about a Canadian artist named Trust. I don't know if you guys know that artist. He's a new guy. The U is like a slash. I think it's Trust. I don't remember, right? Something like that. Anyways, I really liked it. It had a cool 80s vibe, and the music was good, and it just had that laid back kind of electrical energy. I don't think the video almost took me out of the 80s vibe a little bit. It almost needs to be like a lyric video on top of that. It was very generic looking club scenes of just people looking kind of detached and disassociating with the music. But I think it would actually have done better without the video. But I think it was good. Yeah, for the kind of electronic or electronic music that is. A very strong synth feel, and there were really no other variational instruments in there. The beat was cool. It was good. That's me.
Are you?
Yeah, I thought it was good too. It's something that I would like sit back and have a coffee and just listen to it like 80s. I like the vocals. It was pretty good. I don't think the video made any sense to the music at all. I don't think they need that video. I think they need better production, because it had no relevant to anything in the video at all. So there's no storyline, nothing. But other than that, I liked it. It was really chilled back, put me in a certain mood, just like relax. Yeah, I liked it. Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah.
You're super quick today. You're like boom, 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 and done. Okay, everyone's commented on the video. Obviously they've got no budget, right? They've obviously got zero budget, so they're trying to do something. And I appreciate the fact they've tried to do something visual with. For this format, it's nicer to have something, visual to represent, not just have the MP3. But I understand what you're saying. Like it was generic. Actually, what might have been better is if they had old footage of, say, like the Blitz Club in the 80s, like the old footage from the Camden Palace, or those old discos, and it would have still had the same kind of sort of theme running through it, but it would have felt more in keeping with the music, because you've all picked up on 80s vibe, right? And it had, I know what Jim's saying about feeling a bit buzzed or feeling a bit like trippier out of it. The intonation of the music was slightly off key. It was slightly out, it wasn't in tune, if that makes sense. It was meant to give you that feeling of disorientation, like you felt disorientated listening to it. So, and obviously that was, do you know what it reminded me a lot of, actually? I don't know if you've heard of Fragrance. I think he's French, he's current, and it has that kind of sound. he's a current artist. It's not 80s, but it's got that kind of like unnerving, like unsettling, disorientating. Like, do you know what I mean? It's hard. I'm not caffeinated enough. Use your words, Helen. But you know what I mean? It was that kind of like, but I do think that the video, it didn't add anything. It didn't necessarily take anything away from it either, but it certainly didn't add anything to it. And I think that they could have been much cleverer with, you know, finding some old archive footage. There were always in those clubs, the Blitz, the Beetroot, you know, that early 80s, you know, kind of Steve Strange, Visage, Rusty Egan era. There were always photographers and videographers. You know, all those people were creatives. There's footage galore for those. It'd been really easy to reach out to someone and say, look, can I use your footage for this? And that would have felt a lot more like in keeping with what it is that they're trying to project. But that's my only sort of, I wouldn't even say it's a gripe. It's just a comment. Music itself was good. It did evoke something. Like I say, it made you feel slightly unnerved, slightly like Jim described it as buzzy, trippy, like, you know, being on a night out. But it feels like you're slightly disorientated. It had that kind of disorientating feeling. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I think I've rambled on enough, to be honest. I'm just repeating myself. So what did we think? Was it a hit or a miss?
Definitely.
Oh wow, I hit all round.
I loved it. I loved it.
Congratulations, Senius. I hope I'm pronouncing
Full
that
on
right.
hit.
Is a hit round. Well done. Well done. Okay, let's bash on to the next email because I know that we're pushed for time. We might just do one more, boys, rather than 2 more tracks. We usually do 4, but we might just do 3 this week, just so Jeeves can get back to his rehearsals.
Yeah, everybody's coming in already, so. Yep.
Oh, okay, right. Let's just make this the last one, and then we'll wrap up and say our goodbyes and all that stuff. Hang on, let's see what we can find. I'm feeling under pressure. As if leaning forward in my seat's going to make me go faster looking through the emails. I don't know what I'm planning on. Like I'm getting up to run away.
Oh no! You don't have to rush. It's all good.
Okay, here's one here. Number 78 records. Has that jumped over? It has. Okay. Hi. Well, hello. We are a 4-piece band from Ayrshire, Scotland. Okay. The bar's already set high, okay?
Scotland.
This is in Scotland called Voldo. Called Voldo. I wonder if they drive a Volvo. This is our new single called The Crow, due to be released on the 24th of February. Again, I'm really slow, boys. I'm sorry. We're sending this out to radio stations, bloggers, reviewers. The track is totally clean, no bad language, and very radio friendly. Thank you so much for your time. Attached an MP3 and artwork. Okay, let's just bash on. Has that jumped over? Hang on for a.
Yes,
it has. Okay. Let me know if we've got sound.
If the crow flies due south, where doth he go? If he doesn't get shot at the ice wall, what truths will this crow truly know? Truly know, truly know. If he keeps on going, what new lands will he see? A difference of worlds beyond you and me. Huddled in shotted ice wall. What truths will this crow truly know? Truly know, truly know. If it keeps on going, what new lands will it see? A difference of world beyond you and me. Huddled in the center, won't wander too far. But I am the crow, I'm the wandering star. If it keeps on going, what you will see? A difference of world beyond you and me. I squawk like a crow, I talk like a man. I walk too far, in the end you'll understand. I can't fly where you cannot see. No vacations due to the treaty.
I'm sorry, that made me chuckle at the end with the crow sample at the end. Stefano, do you want to go first this time?
Sure. Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay, so I have some notes. That's okay. Um, so this is like a tale of two songs for me for some strange reason. It felt like I really like the softer moments, and I think they could have glided on the intro. And when it goes soft, there's a musicality to it that I was really drawn to, and I'm like, oh, it kind of reminds me of things in the early '90s almost that were kind of nice listening, I guess, for like rock. But then it turns into a bit of a loud, sloshy swamp, not in a bad way, but I think the mix was just really busy. And I kind of want to hear what's being said, and I can't. And I think the vocal mix, there's some sort of, because I like the background harmonies when they're kind of like cooing in the background in the softer moments, but then those background harmonies become almost aggressive, too aggressive for me, and I kind of like abuse the ear a bit. But I love the chord progression too. So it's got the songwriting, I think, is there, but it's just that it seems to be there's too many influences and eras trying to be crammed in. It sounds like a demo from '93. So I like the softer things. I think the mix needs a bit of ER or A&E, as you guys would say in the UK. I think it needs help. It's not there, but I think it should go in one direction. I get the whole exploding into this cool grungy feel, but I think that's where, unfortunately, it loses me, and that's where I think they tried kind of bringing you in, but it kind of like becomes disinviting in that stage. But that's what I would say.
That you?
Yes.
Jeeves, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I agree with the same thing. I like the softer parts. The musicality is there, but I think without that grungy stuff, because the way they brought it in, like it was nice when it first started. So I was like, oh, this is
Mhm.
good. And then all of a sudden, just the grunge just came right through. It's like, where did that come from? Like it just threw me right off. And the mix, I think they need a lot of help on the mix because everything was all over the place. It's like, didn't really gel or glue in together. Especially the vocals and the harmonies were almost separated instead of being all in together. The guitar was phenomenal. That's no problem. The writing, everything was fine. The lyrics, everything, but it's just I don't think the mix came all together. I think they need a little more production, and I think they should just leave the whole grungy stuff out and just go with the softer stuff and build something even more dynamically. Add strings or
Mhm.
something. I'm not sure, but but that whole thing just like took the whole song into a different like feel and different everything. So I was like, okay, that kind of threw me off over there. But otherwise, the softer stuff, yeah, it was amazing. So yeah, that's all for me.
That you,
Yeah, that's me.
Jim?
Yeah, I echo Jeeves on that as well, and Stefano, both of you guys. The backing vocals. I mean, it was. I mean, I didn't expect that coming when the song started as kind of a slow acoustic. First of all, there were guitars and stuff. I go, wait a second, this isn't electronica. And I'm like, this opened my ears. I'm a guitar junkie and a drum junkie, and I'm an old school. If you go to a music festival, I want to see guitar players and drums and bass players and keys, and I don't want to see somebody with a MacBook Pro pushing a button for 2 hours and doing this in front of people. Go to a club for that. Don't make 30,000 people sit there and see if someone like this big going like this. Not that that music's bad, but it belongs in a club. But anyway, I also echo the whole. I thought that Jeeves alluded to. I thought this was going to start as a mellow, chill acoustic song, and then all of a sudden, as Stefano says, it suddenly turned into this whole grunge thing. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. Let's see where it goes. But then for some reason, it seemed like that backing female vocal was buried in that chorus. It was very difficult to. They should have brought her levels up a little bit, maybe bring the fuzzy, Stone Goddard Pearl Jam guitars down a little bit, make it a little bit more balanced. She just seemed buried in the mix, and for whatever reason, when it switched from being mellow to more of a upfront, grungier sound, it seemed like, you know, I got lost. It seemed too busy. I think Stefano, you said busy. I felt like, when mellow opened up and got mellow again, stick to one thing. I think if they stick to just the mellow and do an acoustic version of that, it would be good and effective because you'd hear that backing vocal better. It'd be more clear, more distinct. I wouldn't discourage them from, you know, doing that or just opening up right from the outset. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. Do one thing or the other thing.
Is that you? Okay.
It's
Um, for me, and it's interesting, you've actually all picked up on some of the things I was going to say. It sounds to me like it doesn't sound like this was recorded multi-track and then mixed. It sounds like they were all in a room somewhere playing it live, and it was recorded live. It sounds like a live recording, right? It doesn't sound like a multi-tracked produced track. It sounds like a demo that they've been in a room and they've recorded it in the room. So that's the first thing I would note. For me, it sounded, I could hear, you're right, the early 90s thing, the kind of mellow thing, but for me, all I could hear was David Bowie. Like, I think he's been a huge influence. That's just the chord progression, the way it's been written. And you mentioned grunge. You both did. In fact, the three of you did. For me, it sounded like it switched from Bowie to Garbage. You know the band Garbage, and obviously there's a grunge connection there. Obviously with Butch Vig, producing Nirvana or whatever, being the drummer in Garbage. So that tracks. But it sounded a lot like the guitars sounded a lot like garbage when it elevated, when it went off on its elevation. But for me, I think the biggest issue is the fact that it sounds like they need to be in a studio somewhere. I don't think they've recorded this in a studio. I think they've recorded it live in a room. And there's nothing wrong with that, but and it's fine if it's a demo. But if they want it played out on radio or whatever, it needs to be polished up. It needs to be kind of tidied up a bit. That's my main takeaway. I actually enjoyed it. I think it was well written. Like I say, I could hear David Bowie all over it, all over it, all the way through it. In fact, even in the grungier parts, like there's elements, and not just of one song, like elements of different songs of his. I'm like, somebody somewhere is obviously a Bowie fan, in the band. They've clearly been influenced by him. But no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. Would I play it on Helen's mixtape? It would need to be in amongst a batch of tracks of a similar ilk. Would I play it alongside Garbage and alongside David Bowie? Probably in a run of 3 tracks. Would I play it with this level of production? No, I would want it to be polished up a wee bit, unless I was putting 3 live tracks back to back, because that's where it sounds like it sits. It sounds like it sits in amongst a live album recording. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? I would put 3 live tracks back to back. I play live tracks on the show all the time. But you're right. There's no electronica in there. It's always nice to have something slightly different, because I am so synth obsessed almost. Like, do you know what I mean? It's actually quite nice to have something slightly different. And I enjoyed it. It just needs tidied up a bit. It just needs polished up a bit. And I just, someone needs to take them into a studio and show them how to multi-track, how to record, how to mix it. In my humble opinion.
Get Jeeves on there. Jeeves will be all over that in a second. He'll be mastering and remastering.
But apparently in Scotland,
I would love that.
Ayrshire. There's no excuse. They need to get their act together.
Get an engineer, a proper engineer.
Right. So, what did we think? Was it a hit or was it a miss?
I'm sorry. Needs a lot more work.
I'm sorry.
I'm actually genuinely conflicted. I'm going to say it's a miss just because the potential is there.
Yep.
I think it's a well-written song. I think it just needs tidied up. You need someone to take you under your wing and show you how to
multi-track
it, record it properly in a studio.
That's all.
And if they haven't done that, then I feel really bad, because to me it just sounds like they recorded it in a room.
Even if it goes grunge, I think they could do the grunge part a little better too. I think they don't have to just stick with the soft part. I think that's where they lost everyone. I think most.
Because it just jumped right away.
Yeah, it jumped.
I didn't see it coming.
I also think that Jeeves made a valid point as well, where you had the grungy guitars, and I actually liked the guitar sound.
Yeah,
you could do another version of it. You could do, because Jeeves mentioned strings. You could bring in. You could do an orchestrated version. So instead of having that heavy guitar, you could elevate it with strings.
I was waiting for strings actually in that. So it's very strange.
Yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Garbage, Helen. I'm thinking about, you played on Helen's mixtape Thursdays on 365 Radio.
Thanks for the plug, Jim.
You played the Siren mix version of Garbage's Milk. And there's another version, the studio version, which has more of the abrasive drums, not guitars, but it's mostly the
Milk. It's the album version that I play.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, so I digress. But you know what I mean? There's 2 different versions.
Mm-hmm.
There's the Siren mix, and then there's the studio or the album version.
Mm-hmm.
And one's a little bit more drum, and she goes into the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is more.
The thing about that track is it actually. I know it's weird we've gone off onto a conversation about Garbage, but the thing about that track is it actually really showcases Shirley Manson's vocal range.
Yes.
Because, she is so badass and upfront and in your face and not shouty, but, rock chick. Yeah. And then she recorded Milk. And it's a little bit like the same as what happened with Debbie Harry when she recorded Shayla. right, from the Eat to the Beat album, it
Mhm.
because it's a softer song, it actually showcases the vocal range of how good they actually, how well they can sing. You know, they're
Exactly.
not
Yeah.
just all one or two dimensional. There's a whole, range.
It
And
also
Exactly.
reminded me a bit of Elastica. You guys remember Elastica?
yes,
Heck
And
yeah.
Yes,
also,
Elastica.
Justin Fishman.
And Stutter.
and the soft
Yes.
part reminded me of this Canadian band named Crash Test Dummies. I don't know why you guys.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah.
Those
God.
guys are
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Crash Test
That's
Dummies.
kind of like what it.
Elastica, Crash Test Dummies, even Republica to a certain extent,
Yeah.
like
Republica.
and
Yeah.
Garbage. They all came round at the same kind of
Yeah.
time,
Same era.
It's
So
kind of like a polished grunge, right? It was like grunge, but kind of with a glammy touch.
Brit pop slash
Yeah,
Yeah.
grunge.
it's like a British version of
Grunge.
grunge with a
Yep.
bit of yeah,
Yeah.
glam in it too. Yeah, I mean the song's there, so it could be a it could
There's
turn into it.
lots of potential for sure.
Yeah.
So I think we should wrap it up at the 3 songs just so that Jeeves can, get on with what he needs to get on with. But before we go, would we all like to just tell everyone where we can find each other? What I'll do is I'll go around in a kind of clockwise direction. So Jeeves, you go first. Hang on, let me make you bigger. That's the wrong one. I don't want to make me bigger. There we go. Where can people find you, Jeeves?
I'm Mr. Twix. You can find me on Twitch at Mr_Twix. Here, I do my DJ set on here, so you guys can find me here. 3 times a week I do it. So, yeah. I'm just out on tour right now, so I'm really not DJing as much. But when I get back, I will get back into the routine.
And it's Mr_Twix spelled a
Twix.
strange way. It's TWIXXZ.
Z or Z.
Z.
Either way you want to say.
You weirdos. Americanizing everything.
Yeah, I say Z, okay? Some people say Z. I say Z. So that's me.
Jim, do you want to go next? Where can we find you?
Absolutely. Helen, thank you so much for having me be a part of JukeBox Jury. And to my distinguished panelists, thanks for letting me be a part of this. This is fun as always. For those of you who want to follow me, my name is Jim. I'm from the northwest suburbs of Chicago, live streamer since 2015 through the old Periscope days, 1 year on Haps, 3 years on Twitch, and I'm over on the X as well. You can follow me on Twitch at Jim in Chicagoland. Over at X, I'm over at JS Scope. We do Saturday Night Trivia over there on Twitch as well as X. We do general knowledge and free music junkies. I do a music round. And then Wednesday, we kind of look at a warm candle or an open fire pit under the stars. We do a mental health cast now in its 6th year called Catalyst. That's on around 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific over there on Twitch as well as X, where we focus on you sharing your story. It's a mental health cast, it's a chill cast, and we have some laughs as well. So please join me. And again, thank you for having me on, guys.
Great. And Stefano, I'm being very careful to pronounce it properly. Tell everyone where we can find you.
As for me as a person, you can find me on like all over social media, Stefano Barberis. It's usually like my film work. But as Breathe in My Leaves, you can find us all over, like on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, everywhere. We're ubiquitous, I guess. And we have a new single called Godzilla. And yeah.
And your current single it's called Godzilla, right? And
Godzilla.
And that'll be on Spotify and iTunes.
It's everywhere. Yeah, it's on Spotify. It's doing really well with Godzilla fans. For some reason, like it made it explode all over the planet. So it's on Spotify, Apple Music. It's on YouTube. There's a video for it. Yeah, so that's basically, you can find us everywhere. Add us. We're on Bandcamp as well. So yeah.
Yes, purchase the music, people. Don't just stream it. Don't consume it. Purchase it.
Good point. Good point.
And I am Helen, and I host Helen's Mixtape on 365 Radio on a Thursday evening, 8 p.m. UK time. That's 5 Eastern. And it goes up on Mixcloud after that for the replay. And on the 365 Radio Sounds app as well. Obviously, we do JukeBox Jury once a month. We'll figure out what the next date is for everyone when it's convenient, and then we'll obviously update that on social media, let you know when that's going to be. More information about that on jukeboxjury.info. All our past replays and everything are on there. Bios and information for all the jurors are on there. And Jukebox Jury is going to be live at the Edinburgh Festival this year throughout the month of August. You will hear me banging on about that on social media. We're trying to raise some funds to help make that happen. So if anybody wants to contribute in any kind of way to help out, you can do that. I did have a QR code, but I'm not quick enough to press the button for the... Oh, there it is. There's the QR code in the top corner of the screen if you want to donate some money towards the Fringe Festival. That will also actually be getting multicast out, so you don't have to physically be in Edinburgh to see the show. You can watch it online as well. Okay, so there was something else, and I've completely forgotten what it was because I am not caffeinated enough, and I know that I've said that often enough. I've said it about 10 times. I need to... Sorry, guys. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. If you are a musician and you want to submit music, you can do that by sending me a 320k MP3 file to radio@helenwallace.co.uk. Please don't send me 10 pages of blurb with it, and please don't get a plugger to send it. Send it to me yourself. There's a much higher chance of it getting played if you send it to me yourself. I do eventually read everything. I listen to all the tracks that get sent to me. It just takes me a little bit of time to get through them all, so bear with. All right, so thank you all so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being part of it.
It was really good. And Jim and Jeeves, like, I've watched you guys, and thank you for the past hits that you've given us too. So, but I'm really thankful to be on here with all of you guys. You guys are a thrill. You guys are so nice.
Well,
so
I'm hoping you'll come back again. I'm hoping it's not going to be a one-time thing.
Anytime. You just like...
We'll have to get you added to the group chat, and then you can tell us when you're free.
I'd love that.
All right. So thank you all for tuning in. I know that I've been a little bit neglectful of the chat, but I know that there are eyeballs watching. You're just all very quiet and not saying very much. So thank you all for tuning in and keeping us company. Like I say, next Jukebox Jury is usually 4 weeks, 6 weeks, somewhere. It'll be sometime in May, and we'll keep you posted on that. All right. I guess we say goodbye. Cheerio, bye, ta-ta.